What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. And with the fall and with WrestleMania now behind us, we now put all of our focus on the next two WWE events that will be taking place from now up until next month. That being NXT UK Takeover Dublin and also Money in the Bank. So if you guys saw last night, one of their ads for that matter, they announced that Money in the Bank was going to be going live on the WWE Network, and as I said, it's going to be taking place in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not so sure if that's wise, but you never know. You never know what can happen. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about where WrestleMania 38 will take place, what the future holds for Charlotte Flair as the new NXT Women's Champion, and also the latest on what the future will hold for Becky Lynch ahead, coming out of her match with Shayna Baszler from this past Saturday, actually. And also too, I will also be talking about what the future holds for The Undertaker coming out of his match with AJ Styles. So let's kick this off with WrestleMania 38. So originally, this year's WrestleMania, last night's WrestleMania, was supposed to have taken place at Raymond James Stadium. It was supposed to have taken place there, but because of the circumstances that we have now, that did not come to pass. In fact, it took place at the Performance Center in Orlando. And all these articles are coming from WrestleTalk. If you guys have not checked them out on YouTube, you guys definitely should. They actually have over 750,000 subscribers on YouTube. Big shout outs to them. I feel like as if both WrestleTalk and What Culture are the top two YouTube channels to watch out for in terms of news, basically. With my channel, I basically just give my thoughts on it and try to explain as to why it should happen or why it shouldn't happen, or you guys get the idea. Anyway, so according to what WrestleTalk posted, it says here, WrestleMania 36 has come and gone, but the city of Tampa Bay did not get to partake in the festivities. It has now been revealed that Tampa will be in the running for WrestleMania 38 in 2022. The highly reputable WrestleVotes on Twitter made the announcement earlier today. So this was actually yesterday, actually. Oh no, this was indeed today. So WrestleVotes on Twitter posted saying, quote, now that the weekend that was to be has passed, I can say that Tampa Bay will be in the running to host WrestleMania 38 in 2022. All the initial legwork is obviously done, with the city still very much eager to host the event. Might be a shoo-in. Time will tell. Next year's show will be held in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. Hopefully this pandemic will be cleared up in time for the show and things can go ahead as planned. Less work would need to be done if WWE plans to return to Tampa Bay in 2022. Given that the initial work had been put in place for this year's show, it might be an incentive for WWE to return to the area. WWE has a history of returning to the same venue for WrestleMania. Recently, they held the event in New Orleans in 2014 and again in 2018, and they took the show to New Jersey in 2013 and 2019. So that's just pretty much it. Honestly, that's the article. So when you think about WrestleMania, you think of some of the big venues that has hosted it. You think of venues like Madison Square Garden, Toronto Sky Dome, It was obviously the Reliant Astrodome in Houston, the Reliant Stadium, which I think that's what they changed it to. They completely, based on the reports that I've seen. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Let me look that one up. Reliant Astrodome. So I believe they changed it from the Astrodome to the... Oh, no, they did not. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second, let me look it up. Because I know that the Reliant Astrodome was home to WrestleMania 17 in 2001. And then I believe they changed it to the... I think they changed it to something else because of... I think they changed it because of Hurricane Katrina, I think. Yeah, I think they... so they changed it to I think they changed it to the Reliance Stadium. I'm not so sure. But yeah, so based on that, I believe that was the case. So you think of the Reliant Astrodome, Reliance Stadium, AT&T Stadium, you think of MetLife Stadium, the LA Sports Arena, you think of Madison Square Garden, the Arrowhead Pond. I think they changed it to something else. You think of Ford Field. You think of the Citrus Bowl. Obviously they mentioned it. The Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The Pontiac Silverdome. You know, and also too, you also think of Staples Center as well. Sun Life Stadium in Miami. There have been so many events, and even also the Georgia Dome as well. So many events, so many venues hosted WrestleMania. It's become a staple, basically, for WWE to go to certain events on multiple times. So I actually heard about this. I also heard that they're supposed to be going back to the Astrodome in that time. If that is the case, we're gonna be in for one interesting 2022. It's gonna be interesting. But as what's his name? Brian Joyce from WrestleTalk, as Brian Joyce wrote in this article, next year's show will be taking place here in LA at SoFi Stadium. So it's gonna be interesting to see how 2020 is going to span out from now up until next year. But as he said, hopefully this pandemic will be cleared up in time. Honestly, I think so, because I do watch the news from not always, but from time to time, and I've heard rumors that for us here in Cali, I believe this pandemic will be reaching its peak in sometime at the beginning of the summer. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. I would not know. All I know is that that is pretty much everything. That's pretty much what we can expect for WrestleMania in 2022. Next year's WrestleMania is going to be interesting. SoFi Stadium is supposed to break AT&T Stadium's record. I believe. Let's have a look. WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 32. Let's take a look. So WrestleMania 32. had actually had broke the record actually for the most amount of fans at a WrestleMania venue. I believe WrestleMania 3 had 93,193 fans. This one, WrestleMania 32, had does it say here? I'm actually looking on Wikipedia actually. Let's see, give me a second here. Nope. Here we are. So apparently, the attendance was 101,763. That was the record. That's the new record. Which honestly, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. But I heard that next year's WrestleMania in LA is going to be breaking that record. Next, alright, you guys. So now we're going to be talking about what will the future hold for Charlotte Flair coming out of her match against Rhea Ripley last night on night 2 of WrestleMania. This was posted on WrestleTalk by Louis Dangor. I butchered that name. I know I probably butchered the name. So the article says, last night in the opening match of night 2 of WrestleMania 36, Rhea Ripley defended her NXT Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. For what it's worth, this was the best WrestleMania match purely from an in-ring stance for me, obviously for the guy that wrote it. Ripley and Flair seemingly worked quite stiff, which worked given that there were no fans in attendance, allowing for strikes to be heard far clearer. Many people expected Rhea to beat the Queen on the grandest stage of them all. However, it was Flair that picked up the win, becoming only the second 2-time NXT Women's Champion in the process. It is a testament to the work of both Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair that WrestleMania was a star-making performance for the Australian, despite the fact she didn't win. Now that she is the NXT Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair is widely expected to move over to NXT. However, it has emerged that she will also be working Raw shows. According to Dave Meltzer, Charlotte will continue to work Raw shows on Monday and also NXT shows on a Wednesday. Speaking on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer had the following to say, and I quote, "The plan right now is she's going to work both, with no house shows and no nothing. It's not like you're overtaxing someone for making them work twice a week." This is very interesting. Perhaps with Bianca Belair seemingly on her way up to Raw following a shock WrestleMania appearance last night, we can see Belair and Flair. That actually kind of rhymed. Feud on both shows in the coming weeks. So this is interesting because not only that, but there's also an article here on WrestleTalk tying into this whole thing that the NXT Women's Championship will be defended across all 3 brands. So when you think of all 3 brands, you think of Raw, NXT, and potentially SmackDown, which is actually kind of interesting, to say the very least. But yeah, so apparently Charlotte Flair confirmed herself, supposedly, that she will defend the NXT Women's Championship across all 3 brands. So when you think of all 3 brands, you think of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. But you could also see Raw, NXT, and NXT UK which I don't think that would be the case. So it'll probably just be SmackDown as well. My thoughts on it: I think it's great. I think it's a great idea for Charlotte Flair to elevate the women's division over on NXT, because apparently the reason why she won the title is because of the ratings war between NXT and AEW, actually, which is very, very interesting to say the least. Because over the last several months, over the last several months, supposedly AEW has won the ratings, has gotten a lot of ratings in the wars against NXT. There has been a couple times where NXT has gotten the dupe over AEW, but mostly it's AEW getting the dupe over NXT. Which actually brings me to this next one, which is what will the future hold for Becky Lynch ahead of her, coming out of her match against Shayna Baszler. So let's see here. On night one of WrestleMania 36, Becky Lynch defended her Raw Women's Championship against two-time NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. While the match was good, it felt like it was cut short slightly. The pair would have benefited from an extra 5 minutes. The result also surprised people, with Becky Lynch retaining her title. To finish the match, the finish of the match protected Shayna slightly, with Lynch rolling out of the Karafuda clutch to pin Baszler. Many have speculated that the pair could be set for a rematch at the next pay-per-view, which Shayna will most likely win. So the next pay-per-view is indeed going to be Money in the Bank. So I'm curious to know how that's going to play out. However, if she doesn't continue her feud with Baszler, Becky Lynch has teased that her next challenger may be a new NXT call-up. Since Becky Lynch has pretty much defeated every single credible challenger during her year-long reign as Raw Women's Champion, the man has teased that her next challenger may be an NXT star. While on ESPN Sports Center, Becky Lynch had the following to say regarding who will be next to challenge her for her title. She says, and I quote, "They're gonna have to pry this out of my cold dead arms. I don't know. I'm not looking to give this up for anything. I have worked my entire life for this. This is all I've dreamed of. I plan on holding it until the wheels fall off. Whoever wants to come at me, they know where to find me. They know that I'm there on Raw every single Monday. I don't miss any time. I don't take time off. I don't get hurt. I'm sturdy. Now there's a wealth of talent coming up from NXT. There's an after WrestleMania that's always exciting to see who is going to join the main roster. Who is going to step up to the challenge. Bianca Belair has made a surprise appearance last night during WrestleMania to save the Street Profits from an attack at the hands of Angel Garza, Austin Theory, and Zelina Vega. Some think she may be the one to challenge Lynch next." So, honestly, I would not mind seeing that. I would not mind seeing Bianca Belair challenge Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. But at this point, it's pretty much a standstill at this point, given the fact that Becky Lynch has done an amazing job as Raw Women's Champion. I think it's pretty safe to say she won't be giving up that title for anybody, which is interesting. But honestly, I think Becky Lynch has done so well as Raw Women's Champion. I would not mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing her drop the title to someone from NXT, and possibly in the summer, like around SummerSlam in which is supposed to take place in Boston. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. All right, guys. Now the big question: are we going to see? What big question is what will the future hold for the Undertaker after WrestleMania? So according to this article, which was posted by again Louise Dangor, I just butchered that name, in the main event of the Saturday portion of WrestleMania 36, which was night one, AJ Styles and the Undertaker went one-on-one in a boneyard match, which was basically a buried alive match of sorts. Prior to the show, fans were not sure what to expect of this clash. What we got was a more cinematic experience with Undertaker and AJ Styles fighting in a graveyard. The match was thoroughly enjoyable and is arguably Undertaker's best match since his Hell in a Cell clash with Brock Lesnar in 2015. As was expected with AJ Styles referencing his wife in the build-up to the match, Undertaker worked more as Mark Calloway / the American Badass version of his character as opposed to, quote-unquote, the Dead Man. Many people have speculated that this was done as there was no live crowd, with it being likely that Taker will return to his casual character once fans are allowed back into stadiums / arenas. However, reliable Twitter source WrestleVotes has stated that he is of the belief that the American Badass version of The Undertaker is not going away anytime soon. Of course, it is important to point out that this is not a WrestleVotes report, and he does not state that Taker will definitely not be returning to TV next as the Dead Man, but it's certainly interesting nonetheless. Okay, so honestly, I've always wanted to see the American Badass. Honestly, I know I've seen him on on DVDs and whatnot, but on TV, on live national TV, honestly, I would love to see that. I think it would be a great way for the Undertaker to change up his whole personality and his whole character overall. In this sense, because truth be told, as of now, Undertaker has done so, he's become so much better. He looks a lot more healthier, if you will, than last we've seen him. Obviously, the last time we saw him in action, what was it, last year? It was Extreme Rules last year, I think it was. Let me take a look. Give me a second. Because I believe it was last year. Yes, it was. It was last year at Extreme Rules, where the Undertaker teamed up with Roman Reigns to take on Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon, and it was a no holds barred match, actually. So it was an interesting matchup. That match was very interesting. But for the Undertaker to come back to the ring as the American Badass, I love it, and I cannot wait until WWE starts letting fans back into the arenas and venues and whatnot, because that way the fans will be able to see the American Badass version of the Undertaker. The Mark Calloway version of the Undertaker, which I love it. I would not mind seeing that at all. But the way that match went, I believe What Culture gave that match a 6-star rating, I think. So it was a very enjoyable match. I was sitting in this chair right now. I was sitting in this chair watching that match, and I looked on and I said, AJ Styles, because I knew that AJ Styles was fucked from the very start. From the moment he brought up the moment he brought up Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, I knew he was screwed. I knew he was fucked from the very beginning. But that's actually pretty much it for this video. I know that there's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of other a lot of other pieces of news to talk about for the rest of this week. But that is gonna do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of all these matches that were on the card for WrestleMania, both Night 1 and Night 2. I am very curious. Yes, I do read the comments. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My links are down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me, I know that it's being postponed because of this pandemic, because of the circumstance that we have now. But if there is any fan mail that you would like to send me, my address will be in the description below. I will definitely do a fan mail video once this pandemic is over and everything is back to normal, which I'm hoping it's gonna be hopefully it's gonna be before the summer, but you never know. You never know. And on that, this is your boy Nash signing out.